Hi everyone, my name is David Vessel and I'm going to be presenting to you today. My passion for this assignment is child protective services. I want to work directly with children and families impacted by abuse or neglect and trauma. And I believe no child should have to just survive their early experiences. They deserve a chance to heal, grow, and succeed. And I think a lot of us moving forward are going to be the ones facilitating that. Today I want to talk about how CPS professionals can help make that happen using trauma-informed, behavioral-based interventions rooted in applied behavioral science, like we're learning now. When used consistently and compassionately, these approaches can not only reduce harmful behavior, but restore hope and safety in a child's life so they can grow up and be a successful human being. Let's start with why this matters so much. Children in child welfare systems like CPS are often neglected, and no one should have to experience that. They're experiencing physical abuse, emotional abuse, domestic violence, trauma, and they're being removed from their homes. And a lot of this is experienced from the people who are supposed to be taking care of them. And that's a big experience to be experiencing at such an early age. These events have deep psychological scars. According to the National Trauma Stress Network, more than 78% of youth in child welfare systems report at least one traumatic experience, and many experience more than that, multiple. This type of chronic exposure, known as complex trauma, changes the brain's wiring, the body's response to stress. It causes children to struggle with trust, emotional regulation, their ability to learn, and their social behaviors. As CPS workers, you often see the results of this trauma in behavior like aggression, self-harm, hyperventilation, withdrawals, and frequent outbursts. But there aren't just signs of defiance or misbehavior. They're also symptoms of just survival. These behaviors are known, these are how children cope with what they've been hurt with. They're scarred, and the betrayal from the very people they were supposed to be protected by. That brings us to one of the most important principles we can adopt in our field. Behavior is communication. When a child is acting out, shutting down, or lying, or stealing, they're trying to meet a need. Safety, control, attention, emotional regulation. This behavior might not be helpful, but it makes sense in the context of their experience. So rather than labeling the child as bad or difficult, we need to shift our perspective. What if instead of asking, what's wrong with you, we begin by asking, what happened to you? These are better probing questions. Or even more importantly, how can we help you learn a healthier way to cope? That's where trauma-enforced behavioral interventions come in. These strategies combine the understanding of trauma's impact on development with the tools of applied behavioral science. Things like positive reinforcement, structured routines, skill building, and consistent explanations. For example, if a child has trauma when routine changes, we don't just discipline them for being difficult. Instead, we use tools like visual schedules to help with predictability, social stories to prepare them for the change, and positive reinforcement when they use appropriate coping skills. We're not just trying to stop bad behavior, we're trying to build trust and teach the child how to feel safe in a world that felt dangerous before. Let's use a real-world example. A 9-year-old boy in foster care has a long history of abuse and multiple replacements in homes. He had daily meltdowns in school and is about to be placed in a residential treatment facility. Instead, his CPS team implemented a behavioral plan with trauma-informed support, a daily point system, a calming corner, a caregiver coaching, and over time, the meltdowns decreased by 70%. He remained in the same place for more than a year. This transformation isn't magic. It's consistency, compassion, and strategic use of behavioral science. And the research backs this up. Fredo found that trauma-informed behavioral support reduced aggression and emotional outbursts in foster youth and led to more stable placements. Miller and Navates showed the environment with structure, environment with safety, and emotional support helped trauma-exposed youth regulate behavior. In 2020, reviews by Walker and his colleagues concluded that trauma-informed practices increased emotional resilience, improved treatment engagement, and decreased overall stress levels in the children in the care. Beyond external behavior, we also want to teach children how to manage themselves. This is where self-management from chapter 29 comes in. We teach kids how to recognize their feelings and calm down before acting, and we ask for help. And ask for help. They ask for the help. And we give them lifelong tools for this. Simple strategies like feeling thermometers, token boards, calm down cards. This will help children learn to manage their emotions and make good, safe choices. And when those skills are reinforced across different settings at school, at home, in therapy, we promote generalization and maintenance of those behaviors we want to see, as described in our textbook. That means the child doesn't just behave well once. They take those skills with them into everyday environments, repeating those things. So my call to action here for us is, let's say you work in CPS or foster care or education or behavioral health in general. Those trauma-informed behavioral sound strategies we should apply. Maybe it's using the praise token system that we've learned about to encourage emotional control and positive reinforcement of that emotional control. Maybe it's using visual schedule to ease transitions. Maybe it's simply starting each interaction with grounding activity like deep breathing or naming feelings, talking. Whatever strategy we're choosing, use it consistently and use it across different environments. Help the child see that the support that they're receiving from you is predictable and it's safe. And that's how we build trust, and that's how we build lasting change. In closing, I want to remind us all, if we're working with CPS, Child Protective Services, it's not just about stopping harm, it's about building hope for the kid's future. When we're using trauma-informed behavioral science in our work, we give children what they've been denied for so long. And what they need is structure, safety, empathy, and a place to heal. Let's be the professionals who meet their behavior with courtesy and compassion and sympathetic and empathetic feelings for some of us. Let's help them feel safe so that they can go and live a successful life like they deserve. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being part of the solution.